Yes. Yes. Yes.
Watch this.
Good evening, Interworld. Sergeant Slack here from Banana One Productions. We are back in World of Warcraft, and we're going to take a look at the patch notes for patch 5.4, the Seige of Orgrimmar. Okay, so the warrior changes for patch 5.4 are as follows. Battle, Berserker and Defensive stance, i.e. all your warrior stances, now have a 1.5 second cooldown, down from 3 seconds. Boom. 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 That's useful. It's now quicker than the animation, and you can get both up at once. So that's cool. That makes them much more useful, makes stance much more appropriate. And as you can see there, I didn't have any rage, could change backwards and forwards fine. Blood and Thunder now also increases the damage of Thunderclap by 50%. Nice. Deep Wounds damage has been increased by 65%. Nice. That deep wounds damage, you bleed, it'll finally be easier to finish people off because you got more accumulated damage there. Enrage now also triggers on critical hits from Devastate and Shield Slam. Hamstring is no longer on a global cooldown. Yes, that's so good. That is so good. You can get your for people who are running crit spec like me at the moment, and you're not having Shockwave and you're not having Stormbolt, your only real method of snaring people without using Piercing Howl is Hamstring. Hamstring's come back into the game. This is a very old school warrior spec, and it's good that it's off the global cooldown. You can just kind of spam it, get it on there, move on to doing damage. Wicked. Love it. Intervene now also breaks roots and snares when used. That's going to be really useful for flag carrying and PvP. Shadowing Throw no longer costs rage. Hey, it's still a 1.5 second cast, but it doesn't cost rage. So you, as your rage is ticking down while you're rooted and the person's running away from you, you can still get a Shattering Throw on them, and you can still have just your diminishing rays, not you losing it as well. Shield Wall no longer requires a shield. What? Are you kidding me? Shield Wall no longer requires a shield. If the warrior does not have a shield equipped, it will show a visual of an equipped shield. Wow. Just wow. That is great. No more having to sit with your shield on to get the maximum amount of bonus from your shield wall. You could just pop it without having to actually have a shield. Still doing loads of damage. That's great. It'll make it much more effective. That'll be used a lot in PvP. Spell Reflection also no longer requires a shield. What? If the warrior does not have a shield equipped, it will show a visual of an equipped shield. So, Shield Wall, Spell Reflection, that's great. You don't need to, like my Fook macro, where I have all this stuff written in there. I don't need to equip set defense weaps. No need to put a shield on. I might sell my shield. I don't need it. So, arms changes. Mortal Strike now deals 215% of weapon damage, up from 175%. So that's a 40% increase in the damage it does, I think, unless I'm really bad at maths, which is possible. Seasoned Soldier now also reduces the cost of Thunderclap by 10 rage. Slam now deals 25% more damage, but the rage cost has been increased by 25% as well. While Sweeping Strikes is active, Slam will deal 35% of damage dealt against the primary target to all other enemies within 2 yards. All other enemies within 2 yards. So we finally got a bit of AoE there with Slam, which is coming in at the moment as listed as 25 rage. What can I say? That's going to be really useful. Targets affected by Colossus Smash also receive 10% more damage. So this is going to be really useful in PvE, not so much in PvP. Fury, not got too many changes. Titan's Grip now works with polearms. Nice. Done. Protection. Revenge now generates 20 rage, up from 15 rage. So that's good. Riposte is a new passive ability learned by prot warriors at level 76. When the warrior dodges or parries any attack, they gain 75% of their parry and dodge as an additional bonus to crit strike for 20 seconds. So that's a crit strike damage increase. That is going to make PvP crit spec and crit spec gear really useful for prop PvP this year. I'll be surprised if we don't see a few videos in the coming weeks of people kicking ass with that. Ultimatum now activates from critical hits with shield slam instead of a flat 20% chance. Again, really good if you're wearing crit gear. And the ability will make the next heroic strike or cleave be a critical hit in addition to costing no rage. So in addition to costing no rage, it's going to be a crit. And now it spawns off crits from shield slam. There's a lot of crit there. If you want to wade through all the crit and go for a crit spec, which you're already going to be running, which you already could be running on arms, then yeah, wow man, that's going to be great. I can't wait to get out there and start testing that. The talents, there's more, there's even more warrior changes already. Talents, Blade Storm's cooldown has been decreased to 60 seconds, down from 1.5 minutes, or 90 seconds as it's more commonly known. So 30 seconds down on Blade Storm, that can only be good. Arms, Blade Storm now deals 180% of weapon damage, up from 120, which is good. But protection, this is a change I didn't want to see. Protection, Blade Storm now deals 160% of weapon damage, down from 240%. That was something I didn't want to see, guys. I was hoping Blade Storm would be strong for prot because it feels awesome doing it. So that was a change I didn't want to see. Blade Storm's going to be less effective for prot, more effective for arms. I'd kind of hoped that it would continue being effective because I've not been using Blade Storm in prot for a while because it's not been that good. It's just, I've honestly rather rated other things instead. And to nerf it again is a bit like, well, it's going to be even less. So 160% of weapon damage, they've reversed them basically and turned it back into an arms thing, which is a shame because I enjoyed using it as prot. Bloodbath, Snare and Bleed effects are now two separate debuffs. Clearing one of the effects will no longer remove the other. Speaks for itself, makes Bloodbath more effective, and especially in Arena because someone's going to have to decurse them twice to get rid of it. Enrage Regeneration now instantly heals the warrior for 10% of their total health, up from 5%, and an additional 10% over 5 seconds. So overall healing has gone from 10% to 20%, but to be honest, I don't think I'll be swapping. I haven't done any testing yet, I mind, but I don't think I'll be swapping anytime soon away from Second Wind. Second Wind rules, man. Love it to bits. Stormbolt now has a duration of 4 seconds, up from 3 seconds, and has an offhand attack for Fury warriors. That could be useful if you're Fury, I don't know. For me, it's not going to be that useful. Although maybe it is time to get back onto Fury. That might be nice. Vigilance no longer transfers damage to the warrior. Nice, makes it much better. The talent now reduces the amount of damage the target takes by 30% for 12 seconds. Now, really viable for PvP, because it's no longer putting damage onto you as a flag carrier and the tank, but you can suppress a bit of the damage that's coming onto your healers while they look after you. That is going to be useful for PvP. Warbringer! Warbringer now roots the target for 4 seconds instead of stunning them for 3 seconds. That's actually going to make it more viable for prot PvP, if you ask me, because it gives you an extra stun effect that you've been throwing on to line of sight healers and stuff like that in Arena, and for getting away from people who are trying to get onto you while flag carrying in Battlegrounds and stuff. And so concludes the talents for warriors. Now, we will move on to the glyphs. There are 2 new major glyphs. Glyph of the Executor. Killing an enemy with Execute grants rage. Love it. I'll be getting one of those and trying it out soon. Glyph of Impaling Throws. Heroic Throw now leaves an axe in the target, which can be retrieved by moving within 5 yards of the target to finish the cooldown of Heroic Throw. This effect will only occur when Heroic Throw is cast more than 10 yards away from the target. So, if you're 10 yards away from someone, you throw an axe in them. The axe stays embedded in that person until you get, like, Heroic Leap up to them and get within 5 yards, at which point it reduces the cooldown. So if you're chasing a flag carrier across a map in PvP, that could actually come in really handy. I'll be interested to get hold of one of those and give it a try. Plus, that sounds awesome, like, you actually throw an axe into them and it sticks in them. Love it. Looking forward to that. New mana glyphs. Glyph of the Raging Whirlwind. Whirlwind gives additional rage over time, but for that time the warrior no longer regenerates rage from auto attacks. Don't use Whirlwind much in PvP, could be really useful for PvE. Won't be trying that out myself anytime soon. Glyph of the Subtle Defender removes the threat generation bonus from defensive stance. Again, really useful for PvE arms warriors or fury warriors. It's always a problem when you throw into defensive stance. The tank's got to then up their game so that you're not pulling threat off the main tank, which is never a good thing to do as an offensive warrior. Like, well, as any offensive class, it's never really a good thing to do. Subtle Defender, again, really useful for PvE arms, not that much use for PvP. Glyph of the Weapon Master. Shout abilities and cause the appearance of the warrior's weapon to change to that of a random weapon from their primary bag for a short time. That's pretty cool. Nice little vanity effect. Makes it look like you've got a random weapon in your hand instead of the main one. That could be cool. And it could be interesting in arenas when people are like, hey, he's only got an half hand. Oh, I'm dead. So there's been a bug fix to Intervene. Intervene should no longer incorrectly trigger a cooldown when there isn't an allied target for the warrior to intervene to. That would be useful. Thank you, Blizzard, for fixing that if you actually have. So there you have it, guys. Those are the major changes for Arms Warrior in patch 5.4. It's shaping up to be quite a good patch. I'm amazed at the amount of content in there. If you haven't already, then please do go and check out my other patch 5.4 overview changes video, and that is linked on screen here, and will give you an inkling as to what else is going on out there in the world of Warcraft. So, this is Sergeant Slack from Banana Bun Productions saying thanks very much for joining me for this. For the warrior changes for patch 5.4, the Seige of Orgrimmar. Please do comment, like, subscribe if you did. Leave a comment, let me know what you'll be up to this patch, PvE or PvP. It's shaping up to be interesting, and I will catch you next time. Ta-ra.